Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Justin.
I'm Amy.
And today we're going to have a little bit of a conversation about home buying, and more specifically the first 3 steps in the home buying process that we've discussed and that we felt we can share with you to hopefully give you some value as you're going along in considering home ownership.
Yeah, so the first step we have is about credit, all about credit, because ultimately when you're buying a home, especially in this area, you're going to be borrowing money, which is not a bad thing. You just need to make sure that you have the backing to do that.
Yeah, and when you're, the first step of course is to open a line of credit, whether that's getting a credit card or taking out another type of loan. Credit cards are usually one of the first steps people will take. Getting a card and beginning to make purchases on it, but keeping the limit a little bit lower. I think you were discussing with me, is it 30%
Yeah,
of the card?
so here are some of the tips that we have, and Justin just started off with that. Always keeping it under 30%. Even if you always pay it off at the end of the month, you don't necessarily know when your credit card provider is sending that information off.
Yeah.
And so even if you paid off at the end of the month, but let's say you were at 70% of your limit, when they sent that off, that's going to negatively affect your credit score. So always keep it under 30%.
Exactly. And as you build up your credit and you get higher limits in your cards, begin to just kind of spend money, but don't over splurge, and eventually you'll have a credit score that will be analyzed in the underwritten process, and it will be part of the consideration when you're deciding how much you can spend on a home and whether or not you can even afford one at all.
Yeah. And with your limits, a lot of the time when you're starting out, it's good to have a lower limit, but if you're trying to improve your credit score, it can actually benefit you to have a higher credit score. Because let's say you have a $2,000 limit and you have, 100,000 credit card debt, and that's going to be like 50%. But if you have like a 5,000 credit limit and you owe 1,000, then that's only 20%. So it's a little trick that if you can really keep tabs of yourself, then it can help improve your credit score.
Absolutely. Yeah, and along with building the credit, our second step that we discussed was essentially having a savings account, planning for emergency funding, and as well as closing costs and other fees that are associated when you do finally close on a home. Having a savings is super duper important. Yeah. So
like Justin just mentioned, you have closing costs that you have to pay, and those are typically 2% to 7%. And then you have to pay a down payment, and it doesn't have to be a 20% down payment. We have loans that can be a 3.5% down payment, but you should, have that money set aside. And then, as always, whether or not you're buying a house, emergency funds are so important to have.
Yeah, exactly. And Amy just mentioned it too, but we have some great lenders that we use. They can inform you as well as us about the different types of loan programs, like the FHA you were talking about, 3.5%. There's a lot of great options and great programs for those loan options, which is a great thing.
And that kind of brings it around to our step 3.
Yeah.
And step 3 is about planning, bringing in the experts like Justin and I, and it's about making sure that we can figure out what you need.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it really does come down to your specific needs, and more specifically when you're going through the pre-approval process. The lender that we may work with or that you work with will be analyzing all of your debts, your credit, and then from that there'll be a range they'll have that you can afford in a home. And from there, that's when it really becomes about your specific needs and situation, what you want in a home, and that's what we're here for, is to facilitate helping you find your dream home.
And that pre-approval is going to follow you throughout the process, and it's going to help you figure out exactly what you're spending, what you owe, and then we'll also, of course, follow you throughout the process, and that's our job, to be a guide and an advisor to you and to help protect you, because that's our job.
Yeah, and it can be really nerve-wracking when you're first getting started and you've never bought a home before, and it's like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is...
Even if you have bought a home before.
Yeah, even if you have. There's so many steps involved. And our job, as well as a lender's job, is to make it easier for you and to make it a little bit less stressful, and to have a team behind you when you're looking around and hoping to get into your home. So that's what it's all about, really.
And at John L. Scott, one of our main quotes that we really use and live by is that it's about the possibilities in our clients' lives, because buying a home can be such a huge decision and play a huge role throughout your life if you buy one home versus the next. And so we want to make sure that we are helping to educate you so we can help you make those decisions.
Yeah, we're here to be your advisors, and that's what truly matters. But this has been a great conversation. I really love green tea. I don't know if you guys wanted to drop a comment on your favorite type of tea.
Yes.
That might be a helpful thing.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we plan on doing 12 steps. I think is what we're looking at.
Yes.
And so maybe in the next video we can kind of look at and read other people's favorite teas.
Absolutely.
That'll be fun.
That's a great idea. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Bye.